Hello, welcome all. In previous videos, we have seen how to create a Node server and how to create Express server, and we've seen some basic login application, but that approach was not correct. I just used that approach because I just wanted to make it convenient for beginners, but now this video onwards we will be seeing all the right approach. So we'll be adding some new advanced topics in Node.js. So without any further ado, let's get straight into the video. So now I'm going to be starting new fresh application. So now I have this YouTube folder. I'm going to be creating new Node.js project. So simply write the command npm init -y, and that command will create package.json file for you. Well, package.json file which keeps the records of all the dependencies and the commands that necessary for our application. Let's just install express.js. Alright, so we've got this express.js installed. Now let's create server.js file, and let me tell you, server.js file is going to be our main file. Majority of code we are going to write inside server.js file. So let's change the main contained by server.js file. Okay, so in order to create new server, simply import or simply import express in server.js file. And now let's create one variable name var and call the method express. So now we've got the instance of all the facilities of express.js. Now we can just simply create new get method by app.get, yes, and in the first parameter it is going to be the path of the URL path, and in second parameter is going to be the request and response services. You can either use arrow function and you can use the normal function. It's time to create listen method. So listen method is basically useful for allocating the port number for our application. So there are two ways to allocate port number. We can directly write a name of and the port number at the first parameter, but this is not correct approach because most of the time, so sometimes it happens, this port number is not available, and in that case we'll not be able to create our server. So in order to cope up with this with these problems, let's create one variable named port, and let's try to allocate that randomly. Write process dot environments env dot port, and then the port number which you will prefer to allocate. So in my case, my preference is port number 300, and if this 300 port number is not available, then only this process dot environment dot port number will allocate one of the port number which is empty to the port variable, and this port variable we have passed in app.js file app.listen function. So basically ultimately anyhow we will get our port number. So we'll see if it is working or not. So let's just simply run this file by node server.js file. Now we got this message like server is running at port number 300. That means everything is working fine. But if you guys have noticed, this is kind of inconvenient that every time I'm making changes in server.js file, every single time I need to rerun this application, which is kind of inconvenient, right? So in order to cope up with these problems, there is one package available in a Node.js. That name is nodemon. So in order to install nodemon, simply write command yarn add nodemon. And basically let me just describe you the nodemon. Basically nodemon is the package which helps you to keep the changes, and the moment we will save the particular file, that changes will automatically get reflected. We don't need to rewrite or rerun this same file to see the changes, right? So I hope you understand this. Write one command inside the scripts tag. So it is start command. So inside the start command, write nodemon and the server.js file. As I said, server.js file is my main file. I just want to keep tracking all the changes. inside the server.js file. So let's just save this, and and so let's make it changes, and let's try to respond something at the browser's window. So simply write response.send and pass any string. So in my case I'm passing hello world. Simply save it. So if you guys have noticed, I have not rerun this application, but still I'll get the changes reflected at my browser window. See,